Hello, welcome to the Rooms with Ronald podcast, brought to you by the Multifamily Media Network. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington. In 2023, I set an intention to shop 100 apartment communities to see how leasing was evolving around the country. Rooms with Ronald was born out of that experience. In this series, I share my experiences and engage in meaningful conversations with other professionals in the industry as we discuss all things related to leasing and marketing. Join in as we expand the Rooms with Ronald experiment. Hello, and welcome to Rooms with Ronald, the Micro Living Edition. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington, and today we're going to break down a topic in 10 minutes or less. So, let's dive in. Here's a key factor I want you to remember. You are only as good as your last interaction. What do I mean by that? So recently I had to get my windshield repaired. So I went online, I went to safelight.com, I booked my appointment, I paid, I did all the steps, right? Got confirmation. I had it scheduled for Friday morning. I got a phone call from the technician outlining, here's what, the plan's going to be. I even got a really cool video that showed me what they were going to do to my car, all of that, right? So things were going great to that point. I was excited for them to come. Even more excited when the technician called, told me the time frame he was going to be there, all of those things. Then as we approached that time frame, during the window, he called me back and asked, do I have a garage? Because there was some raindrops and some snow flurries happening. And I said, no, unfortunately, I don't have a garage. So he's like, okay, not a problem. We are going to need to reschedule, though. Bummer, right? Except for when I went outside, there was no raindrops and there was no snow flurries. So I don't know why we couldn't do it. But I get it. It didn't happen that day. So he said, I'm going to call the office. I'm going to have them reschedule you. He asked my availability. I gave it to him. So they rescheduled me for Monday. So Monday morning, now I get a text that says, hi, unfortunately, we're unable to do your install today because someone has called out sick and we will need to reschedule you. Is there a day and time that works for you? So I'm texting back, which is my preferred method of communication. So we're still on track, right? I said, yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday is perfect. So we scheduled the appointment for Wednesday. Wednesday, I never hear from the technician. I get the email that says, hi, this person's going to be your technician. Here's your window frame, all of that, which I love, right? Like, how cool would it be if we in multifamily send our photo to prospects that we talked to on the phone or we communicated with via text and said, hi, Ronald is going to be your leasing agent during your tour today. That would set us apart. So the window comes and goes. It is after my window time. I never hear from the technician. They never showed up. That was my last interaction with them. So what happened prior no longer matters, no matter how good it was. So after this, I try to call, but unfortunately I can't call because they're closed. So I go in and I reschedule my appointment for the next day. And I do it first thing in the morning, right? So I do the first morning block that there is. I get the email again that says, we have you confirmed for today during this time. Here is your person. So it's a different person now that's going to come do your install. So this time I call SafeLight and say, hey, I want to confirm this is going on. I tell them why I'm doing this and I go through the whole process. Not once did that person apologize to me or anything, right? So what their rep does is they call the tech, they don't get a hold of him, so they leave a voicemail, tell him to call me. They give me the phone number to call. I send a text, never hear from them. So that time I spent 20 minutes on the phone with them. Now, fast forward, it's after my scheduled appointment time. So actually I called about 20 minutes before the window ended, talked to the representative. He calls the tech, no answer. Says, well, let me call the store. So I tell my story, why. So he calls the store, no answer. And, oh, well, I left a voice. I said, that's unacceptable, right? So now I've had 4 appointments at this point and still no windshield fixed. So I asked to be escalated because, again, you're only as strong as your last interaction. Finally, I get to somebody in their customer care department. She's super apologetic. So what does she say? Let me call the technician. Oh, I didn't call the tech. I called, no answer, left a voicemail. Let me call the store. Kept going on and on. We went around and around. I spent 40 minutes on the phone with these people. So during the day, I have spent an hour of my time now talking to them to still get it resolved. I still don't have it resolved. So what did I do? I canceled my appointment. I told them I needed a refund, and I went to their competitor. I went online. I said, auto repair where I live. I got the competitor. I was still able to go on, put the quote in. I got the quote. As soon as I hit submit, no joke, guys, literally 30 seconds to a minute after I hit submit, that company was calling me. Like, I talked to a real person. She was like, oh, I see you just put you wanted to get a quote. Let me get some more information. I want to give you an accurate quote. So what's your license plate number? What kind of car? We scheduled it all during that time. And guess what? Their price was actually cheaper than Safelite after the discounts. And the service was better. So I thought, I'm going to have to go in person to this place. And she's like, no, honey. We'll come to you. Let me just make sure your car doesn't need an auto recalibrate. Nope, you don't. So we can come to you. Here's the time that we can get scheduled for you. Here's the instructions. You'll just make the payment the day of before they start the work, right then and there. That's fine. If for some reason you need to cancel, no charge, go ahead and do it. They came in and saved the day. So how does this pertain to us in leasing? We are only as strong as our last interaction, and then it's a whole team. Had I had interacted with the guy from Friday, that first guy throughout the whole process, I probably wouldn't be having this conversation with you. I'd be raving about the service, right? Because he called, he communicated. That goes away. So if you're providing service that's exceptional, but someone on your team isn't, have the talk, because you're only as strong as that last interaction. And that's what's going to stand out to me. And let me tell you, I'm not one to leave reviews, but I did. I went and left a review with everything. Here's what's going on. All of those things. You need to find ways. The competition, they probably knew what was going on, right? They pounced on it. As soon as they got the quote, they were on the phone. They called me, they personalized the experience, they informed me of the process, and then they engaged me in the whole thing. You have to stand out, and you have to make every interaction count, because that last interaction is what people is going to remember. Don't be Safelite and have people hanging and frustrated by the process, because they will never go to you. I will never go to Safelite again. Same thing happens here in our world. The better the interaction, the more likely I'm to lease with you. If I have a bad interaction, it's game over. I'm going to your competitor, no matter the price. There you have it, guys. You have been listening to Rooms with Ronald. I'm your host, Ronald Harrington, and today's micro living has been, you're only as good as your last interaction. Until next time, guys, happy leasing. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope I left you with some fresh ideas or a new perspective. Leasing and marketing are evolving rapidly, and Rooms with Ronald is committed to offering a place to hear about those changes. We also celebrate and acknowledge the fundamentals of exceptional service that will never go out of style. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. Visit multifamilymedianetwork.com to learn more about our other exceptional industry podcasts, call pieces, and sponsorship opportunities.